Would you also agree with me that if you knew it could help somebody, you'd probably share it with them? Most of us are wired that way, right? I mean, if we eat at a good restaurant, we tell people. We eat a good, or see a good movie, we tell people. Read a good book, we tell people. We hear about good services, we tell people, right? That's really what we do. But the bottom line question is, if you shared it with them and they chose to participate, would you mind getting paid for that? Not a bit, okay. Because that's what we do. LegalShield Sales Associates, that's exactly what we do. We share the message, people decide to participate, we get paid a commission. So the next part that I want to share with you is actually the business side. So the first side is services, this side is obviously the business. These are the questions we need to address. How much does it cost to start a home-based business opportunity with LegalShield? How do I do the business? Like, do I have to get up there and do what Melissa does, right? And how much can I earn? If I'm gonna actually trade some time, how much money can obviously I earn for that? So we'll answer those questions here on the next few slides. First of all, it's $99 to start up into the business. We want it to be extremely affordable, absolutely. We want it to be extremely affordable. And we want to give our associates access to everything they need to start their business. They will have associate portal, which is actually just online access to monitor their business, all the information and training, online training. We'll give you weekly newsletters, keep you updated as we're growing, because our company is growing very quickly. You have support centers in Ada, Oklahoma. You have local support here. Not only do we have member perks for our members, but we have associate perks for our associates that helps them with discounts in operating their business. Like Office Depot, how many of you used our Office Depot discounts as an associate? I was making copies, this was a few years ago, but I'll never forget it. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. This lady, she was so cute. I was at Office Depot making copies for an event like this, and she said it was $70, $76 and some change. And I swiped my card that's registered for our associate perks, and it took the transaction down to like $38. Wow. And she goes, oh my gosh, that's a magic credit card. She goes, how do I get one of those? I said, I will talk to you about that. That's so cute. But you know, it's a system that for over 40 years has proven success that you have access to plug into. And so we can discuss with you one-on-one, but these are actually where we get you started. Now we also have a $249 startup fee. And you say, Melissa, what's the difference? Well, a lot of our associates want some personal development and coaching. And they also want to participate in our incentive packages and things of that nature. So for the $99, you could actually have it for $19.95 a month to have access, or the $249 we included for the first year at no cost. And so it kind of enhances everything to get your business started, right, on the upfront for 1 year. But you still can do this at $19.95. And we give you a personalized website for people to enroll online. Don't a lot of people like to enroll online? And so also an enhanced back office to give you more reports if you choose to build a sales team. You want to track that sales team. And also you have a prospect by LegalShield to put people into a campaign that it will help shoot out messages to your prospects, personal development, branded professional communications, and contests and incentives. So we'll talk about some more of these here in a few minutes, especially the contests and incentives. Now there's multiple ways to do this business. There's actually digital. Where's my millennials? You guys pick up those phones and boy, you know what to do. The iPads, you know what to do. You can do this business. Miss Lamb said she's a millennial. Stand up so we can see Miss Lamb. Miss Lamb's a millennial. Let me tell you, I have seen some of our young associates with our apps, and they do the full presentation right there on their app. They don't take paper. I like paper. They don't paper. I gotta do what? A pen? You mean somebody gotta sign something? Right? And so we can actually teach you how to do the business completely digital if you choose to do so. We've enhanced this dramatically over the course of the last 2 years. We have a traditional way. We can do conference calls. We can do three-way calls where someone else is on the call with you, walking through the process. We have still DVDs and CDs and magazines that we can use as tools. Or we can do it social, where we can come into your home and talk to your guests, or we can go to Starbucks and talk to your guests, or you can come to events like this and somebody else will do the presentation for you. Whatever way that you'd like to do the business, we can teach you how to do that, okay? And we get paid daily. You get billed daily, you should get paid daily, right? Yeah, there we go. Now this says we get paid 3 ways. We really get paid 4 ways. Okay, we get paid when a person makes a sale. So, ma'am, what's your first name? Lori? So if Lori actually came into business, if she paid the $99 or $249, she'd be a new associate. If Lori, if we helped you do this, right, do the business, who invited you?
Brian Jackson.
Brian Jackson. Where's Mr. Jackson? Is he here? Oh, there you are, all the way in the back. Back left-hand corner is where my troublemakers usually sit, Mr. Jackson. Okay. So, Gloria, Mr. Jackson obviously invited you out here. If you saw value in helping us share the message, because we do need more messengers, right? Quite frankly, we do. That's why many households don't know about us yet. We just don't have enough messengers. So if you helped us share it and you actually, the family protected their family with the services, you'd get what's called a personal commission, a sales commission, right? You get paid for that sale. And then if you choose to build a sales and marketing team, for instance, Mr. Jackson invited you out here, if you made that sale, you'd get your commission. Mr. Jackson, you would get an override, right? You'd get a small pay on training her and helping her become successful. You'd override that sale. Then we also have renewal income. You do the work once, you do it right, you care about your members, and you get paid on this for the life of the membership. Every month that they pay, you continue to get paid, and it's willable. Remember, I told you my children are very nice to me in January, right? They know I do that will in January. But I was very blessed to be able to help over 10,000 families with these services in the field. And I haven't sold a membership in 3.5 years because of my corporate position, but yet every month I get a check, actually every week I get a check for the members who actually I did work with 17 years ago. It's phenomenal, right? And the fourth way we get paid are called incentives. We have no sales quotas in LegalShield. However, we put quotas out there, and if you meet some of those quotas, then you can actually get paid rewards by incentives, contests, and incentives, okay? So we'll talk about each one of those. And I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly because quite frankly, it's at the beginning. If you don't see the value at the beginning, none of the higher end matters either, right? And so what happens is for that $39.90, Lori, that I talked about to protect their families' legal rights and identities, $39.90, as a new associate, you'd come in, we'd help you. You get paid $100 per membership as an associate. That's a 1-year advance on the sale. If we can help you protect 6 families in the next 20 days, 20 days is your training period that Mr. Jackson has to train you. His goal is to make you successful in that training period, get you 6 members, help you earn $600, which obviously puts you in profit mode. Not only puts you in profit mode, but it also advances you to increase your commissions. After the 6th family, now you start getting paid $120 now on that next sale. If you go out and you help just a total of 15 families, now your personal commission has increased to $140. If you go out and you help a total of 50 families, it's actually senior manager. A total of 100 families, you now on that same $39.90 product, you actually are getting paid $190 for every time you help a family protect their legal rights and identities. There's no sales quotas at these levels. You hit the level, you just keep advancing, okay? How many associates do we have in the room? Associate level, stand up for me. Associate level, stand up for me. Senior associate, where's our senior associates at? Managers, where's our managers at? Senior manager, where's our senior managers at? Where's my dangerous directors? Where's all my dangerous directors? Now, years ago when I first came in and was listening to some of these presentations, many of you probably can relate to this. I heard the dangerous directors, and I said, what does that mean? And they said, well, because it's dangerous. You know, they can go to visit with somebody at lunch, right, and make more during lunch than they made all week sometimes in their job, right? And he says it makes it dangerous because they go back to work with an eye problem. I said, an eye problem? I don't see myself coming back here anymore. All right. Now, if you want to make more money, the opportunity is yours. Here's the thing. You control how much money you make based on how much activity you want to do, right? And so, if you want to do 25 sales a month, the next month, you can actually earn $230 on that same sale. Or if you can do 50, which most people that go into employee benefits, like myself when I was in the field, if I can actually help 50 families a month, which is easy for me to do through that process, that goes up to $280 in commission. Founder's motto was making a living while making a difference, right? And I truly believe that That's what we're doing with LegalShield. Where are our senior directors at? Please stand up for me, senior directors. Because we have higher levels than this. Executive directors and above, stand up. You pointing at me, Mel? Or were you pointing at somebody? Alright, now if you choose to build a sales and marketing team, you have another option. You can do sales and you can actually build a team. It's up to you. You actually still get paid the same $100 on the membership. So you sign up for is $39.90. You get paid $100 per membership, but if we actually train you, if Mr. Jackson trains you to actually protect 3 families and bring in 1 business partner, we can do the same thing in your training time. You'd earn $300 to get you in profit mode, but then what happens is you automatically then will jump to that senior associate level on that 4th sale, right? Because you're starting to build a team. And when you do that, you start leveraging your opportunities. We have what's called a differential comp plan. So the difference between your level and the next level is what you actually override every time a sale is made. So kind of give you a quick example here. Mr. Jackson, let's just say, Mr. Jackson brings you here. Let's just say Mr. Jackson's a senior associate, you're an associate. When he helps you make that sale, you get paid your commission of $100. He overrides that with a $20 commission. If you make 3 sales, you get $300, he'd get $60. Make sense? Now, Mr. Jackson, what level are you at? Senior director. So what happens with Mr. Jackson, if he brings you in directly, he actually is taking the place of an associate, a manager, a senior manager, a director, and actually senior director. So what happens is Mr. Jackson actually overrides the entire process. So Mr. Jackson will get 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 to help you when you're actually out there working this business. Yeah, wow, right? If he was just at a director level, it would have been a $90 override, but you add another 40, so Mr. Jackson would actually make 130. Can you see why Mr. Jackson wants you to be successful? So family, once again, if you're a guest in the room and you have questions about this, we can talk to you about it one-on-one. But can you see here clearly how we can help families make an additional $200 to $500 a month? Isn't that what most of us just need, just kind of break even, if you will? And if we can teach you how to do 2 to 5, we most definitely can teach you how to do 5 to 10 or to 1,000. Then we can teach you how to make 1,000 to 1,500. It's baby steps. We can walk you through the whole process. We have many 6-figure ring earners in the room. Well, as a matter of fact, we actually started a new ring program that's called our $50,000 ring program. And what that is these are associates who have actually worked their business to accomplish being able to be made between $50,000 and $100,000 in 12 months. So where are our $50,000 ring earners at? Would you all please stand up for me? Because I know we have some. You say, well, I'd like to make a little bit more money than that. No problem. We can continue with that process. We have some that make at least $100,000 up to $150,000. Where's our $100,000 or more income levels? Please stand up for us. Did we start at that level? No, we worked our way to that level. Wouldn't you agree? And so you can get, it's duplicable. You get 3, who gets 3, who gets 3, and I'm going to let you know this is if the moon and the stars align, right? And with that being said, if you had everybody on your team, because the total team is 39 now, if each person made 1 sale a month, you could override $1,560. If they actually beefed it up to 1 a week, you could override over $6,000. And if actually everybody got really engaged and sold 1 a day, you can see where you can make $46,000. That's in a month. Now, when I first saw this, it scared me because, many years in my past, I came from the Army, I worked for the government, and I went through a divorce, and I was a single mom on welfare for quite some time. So if I would have looked at this and said, me make $46,000 a month, I would have said, oh no, they're not talking to me. I just needed an extra $200 to $500 a month, right? But thank God the person that actually sat with me explained to me how to do that and gave me time to grow from the 2 to 5, from the 500 to the 1,000, right? And I was very blessed to be able to work that process. And when I left the field, we were making $250,000 a year with LegalShield. And the residual income, like I mentioned, do it right, do your work once, do it right, care about your member, teach them how to use it, teach them how to get value. They'll continue to pay, and every time they do, obviously, you continue to get paid. Right. And then wrapping this up, we have our incentives. As I mentioned, right? Incentives is, we have no sales quotas, but if you reach these sales quotas, you can be rewarded. If you go out and really just help 5 families a month, you can participate in our performance incentive, where if you do that just for a year, either help 5 families a month or recruit a few people, and obviously help a few people, depends on how you want to do the business. But you actually can, just by earning 5 points a month, you can actually start getting a $300 check on month 13, 14. 15, right? And hey, you say, well, Melissa, I'd rather be driving a nicer car, and $300 maybe isn't enough, or you can trade that in, be part of our BMW car club, and we actually boosted up to 500 so you can be driving that BMW in our car program. How many BMW car drivers do we have here in the room? Stand up for me. BMW drivers. Interesting, and we go on annual trips. This year, by the way, we're going to Atlantis. It's just amazing that you can help people and actually make this kind of money and have this kind of lifestyle. It's just amazing. But you know, I was going into Los Angeles to do one of these presentations, and the plane was running late. And it was actually just Delta. It's funny because Delta is, do not expect luggage to arrive. That's what it means. And so I get there, I get right to the taxi, I tell them, I say, get me there, and I knew if I pulled in on time, I could run in just as they were announcing me to come on stage. So we pull in, the taxi cab driver goes, Miss Wilder, he said, you said you were at LegalShield. I said, yeah. He goes, this is the right hotel. This looks like there's a BMW convention here. I said, oh, that's just my company. He had BMWs lined all in the front of the hotel. It was pretty phenomenal. And then we have disruptors. What does that mean? We're disrupting the legal system as it is today. You know, think about it. Instagram disrupted the way people obviously take and keep photos. Uber did the same thing in terms of transportation, how we transport. Airbnb, same thing, the way that obviously we have for lodging. I can't tell you what Pokemon Go is, so I'm just gonna actually kind of go over that. I'm just like, I just know it's a game that's disrupting people. As a matter of fact, they've lost focus, right? I mean, have you seen them do it? It's like, please don't walk into somebody. It's amazing. Anyway, but we actually have our technology. I wish this would move faster. But we have apps. And everything that we do. We have member apps and we have community apps. What are member apps? Well, if you're a LegalShield member, remember I told you that one toll-free number into your law firm? You don't even need to do that. You just have the app and you tap the app, right? And you are connected to your law firm. Plus, remember I told you that's where I got my member perks, right, for my discounts. This is where you can actually work with the attorneys on tickets. So I think that's in here as well. ID Shield. ID Shield app, that's where our members can see their score. This is where we send them their alerts, right in the palm of their hand. We have Ask. An Ask app is our community app where we allow people to have access to hundreds, and we're continuing to build this. Actually, I think today it's 1,500 legal questions that have already been built in, so the community can go in and ask legal questions and have, obviously, the right response built into an app. We also have Shake. What is Shake? Well, Shake is for legal forms. You know, we realize that many people need legal forms, basic legal forms. Why pay for them? They're free. So we give them to our clients here, right, through the Shake app. Now, our members get enhanced contracts, but for the community, we actually have free legal contracts. This is kind of like what our legal plan members get. This is actually our 24/7 access. I like to call this our back line, right, to the attorneys. We have a snap feature. What is a snap feature? Well, if I get a ticket, I can take actually a picture of that ticket. I can put the court date in, send a copy of the ticket itself to the law firm. Law firm will call me back within 8 business hours to talk to me about my ticket. This is what our identity theft looks like, right? This is actually just showing me the credit score. This is where they would actually alert me if there were any activities as they monitor, or if I need to call my fraud investigators. The Ask Community app, like I mentioned, this is a legal question. What is a living will? I selected that one, it gives me the answer. And also if they want to join our community, they can do so right there through the app. Also, if they want the legal forms, this is our Shake app. This is an example of the different kinds of documents that we have. They can click on the type of document that they need. It's template based. They can actually just put in the information of what they need in the contract. They can then sign it, and they can then send it to who they're doing business with, right at their fingertips. Isn't this phenomenal? So, and wrapping this up, I think Mr. Robertson and Ms. Mack, do we have some testimonials? If you've been identified to give a testimonial here today, would you please come on up? Give them a round of applause. They're going to share with you some of the things either that they want to talk about in terms of business and or their membership being involved with LegalShield. So, Mr. Rich here, I will start with you.
Thank you. Just to let you know, my name is Rich Ellerman, and I'm from Quincy, Illinois, downstate. And my background was in retail management. After getting out of the military, out of the Marine Corps, I went into retail management. Did that for about 23 years. You know how in corporate world, you're always striving for that next promotion. I got the greatest promotion ever 4 years ago. I got promoted to customer. So, it worked out. I was fortunate. I was able to go back to school through the veterans program. Decided that I would get a degree, and in doing that, found somebody that thought enough of me to offer me this opportunity. I started part-time. Today, not only did I work part-time, but now I have an agency of selling professionals that are out there working with me. I'm an executive director. I've been on Performance Club for 48 months, and it's just getting started.
Good morning, family. My name is Jacqueline Alford, and I'll let my husband introduce himself. We're from Waseca, Illinois, and my background is I'm a licensed esthetician. And what is that? That's a skincare specialist, and I'm also a former music teacher. So that's a great combination to have. But before LegalShield, I worked with my husband side by side, working as an esthetician, and I love what I did. But the problem was that we have 4 children. They were attending college, and we said that we were going to pay for their education. So when our children were going to school, we paid for their education, but it came a time that they needed books, and we didn't have any more money. So a good person of ours, our sponsor, brought us into the business, and this is the way I have been making the supplement. So all my children all have higher degrees. They're doing very well. I just had a son that just graduated with his doctorate in physical therapy. So without LegalShield, I think that we would really be taking our loans and loans and loans, but LegalShield has allowed us to pay for our children's education.
Dr. Rodney Alford, and I've been in practice for about almost 34 years now, and been enjoying practice in medicine. And like some of you probably haven't realized, we do make a 6-figure salary as physicians. So for us, it was not a big deal to make $100,000 or even $200,000 in a business. But when I stopped seeing patients, guess what? I stopped getting paid. And so what we decided to do is we would continue to do this business well into my retirement, and even be able to retire, just as Ms. Wilder says, and we'll be able to retire, we believe, with at least a $250,000 income, so that we won't have to continue to practice medicine well into my 90s.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Luke Cherub. I make my home out in Lyle, Illinois. My background is as a wrestling coach and actually a professional MMA fighter. If you couldn't tell by my eye, if you think this looks bad, you should see the other guy. So I'm truly passionate about those things, but I recognize that they weren't providing me the income that I wanted them to a few years ago when I was starting off. So I was starting to look for a few different things I could do on the side, and very fortunately, LegalShield was introduced to me. So I got excited about what I saw with the company, and I got started on a very part-time basis, made extra $500 my first month, got excited about that, put some more time and effort into my business, and a few years later actually replaced the income I used to have coaching with my LegalShield business. And so now I get to do both and drive a BMW paid for by LegalShield. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rivera. I'm a director with the company. I'm from Illinois. And before LegalShield, it really didn't mean anything to me when my husband brought it home, because you know, if you're married, you always have to consult your spouse. Well, fast forward I didn't need to worry about that. I started utilizing the plan, seeing how great it worked. I worked for corporate America, got downsized by a letter in the mail, which was devastating. However, LegalShield was my plan B, now LegalShield is my plan A, and I have nowhere to look back but forward. Because LegalShield has given me an avenue to press forward, live, leave a legacy for my family, and also educate others. So don't worry about educating or consulting your spouse. Take that step and he'll be happy with you. Thank you, LegalShield.
Hello, family. My name is Mary Badger. I am a senior director with the company. My professional background was corporate America, management, and HR. What I found in corporate America as I was nearing retirement age was that what I thought I had planned, my 401 investments, I was really getting ready to retire, they became 201k investments. And so, I was no longer ready to retire. And, I realized that I may not even have a job to retirement. So when someone is in total control of your future, you have to stop and think that, it was a stressful time. Someone introduced LegalShield to me, and I took a leap of faith and started my plan B to help with my retirement. About 9 months later, my plan B became my plan A. And fast forward 8 years, look at me, I'm retired. And I'm retired, I'm smiling, I don't have to wait till the first of the month to stroke a check. And I don't have to greet you at Walmart. So trust me, take that leap of faith and don't let someone else control your future and don't end up at Walmart.
Greeters at Walmart. And we also have one of our Millionaire Club members here on stage with me. Millionaire Club members means that Mr. Lewis not had generated $1 million for the company. What this means is he's generated over $1 million in commission in his family's bank account. So, Mr. Lewis.
Been involved with LegalShield since January 2002, kind of was struggling check to check. I had a whole lot of month at the end of the month, me and my wife. Some of y'all know what I mean, okay? And I tried a lot of different things, Mary Kay, I did that for a little while, didn't tell my wife, so that was a big mistake. I did true story. I married a lot of other things. And what happened was, someone introduced this information to me. And the first month, just shared the information on the DVD with somebody. I made $1,400, second month, $2,200. 5.5 months, I walked away from my truck driving job as an excited CEO of my truck, didn't work out. 9 months later, I reached the top position in the company called the executive director level. At that level, my first check was $10,400 as an executive director. I retired my wife July 10th, 2003. She has never worked a job since. Also, in 2007, received a $100,000 ring in a 12-month period. But what's interesting, 2009, Mrs. Stonesifer, who I really appreciate, I had a very serious stroke, and the entire right side of my body was paralyzed. And they even told me I was not going to walk again. But, well, I got the doctor here, so. But what's interesting, folks, I was in the hospital for 30 days and trying to get myself back together. And one thing I didn't have to worry about is money. because of the residual income that Ms. Wilder talked about. While I was in hospital 30 days, me and my wife trying to get myself back together. LegalShield paid me over $9,000 while I was in hospital. So, all I can tell you is this: this is more than a business to me. This is a life-saving opportunity for me and my wife, who I will never forget. Thank you. I appreciate everybody who are looking at this opportunity for the very first time.